Welcome back, students. This is the second part of the lectures 5 of week 5. So in this we will be discussing about more about the list view. Last time we have discussed that how we can create the card views and the GUI or the graphical layouts like this one, and then we also see that particular specific issue. So if we want to have our what you can say that if we want to have that particular specific card view, then we have a 6 card views with the same layout. We have an image and then the text right in front of it, image text right in front of it. So we have these 6 card views which are having this exactly the same layout, except that the image and the text is being changed. That is the data part of that particular specific card is being changed, but layout is exactly the same. So we have 6 card views. So maybe we want to have a 10, maybe 20, and then you want to have all these card views like this. No, that's not a good idea. So it's not a good design, not a good idea. So what we need to do, we need have a specific way to handle that kind of a situation. We have one layout. In that particular one layout, we can, for example, we want 2 3 4 5 6, or maybe 1 to 10,000, or maybe 1 to 1 billion. If we want to show something like this, then it's the same layout, okay, but we are trying to use in a different value inside each layout. The same thing is for the card view. We have one card view but different image and the text view, or the value of the text inside it. So what we are going to do here, we have that particular specific data source. Maybe it is data is coming from a database, maybe it is coming from a cloud, maybe it is coming from a file, or maybe it is coming from a specific variable, a list variable inside the Java. Okay, so we have those things there, or maybe it is coming from some of our resources that we can build in the strings.xml file, and then we want to show that particular specific data, for example the numbers or the images or the list of the students on the user interface. So what is we are doing, we have an adapter. That adapter is connected with the data source, and then it is receiving the data, looking at how many records, how many number of students, maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe 40, maybe 100, maybe 1000. So depending on the data size, it look at the data, and then it fill the specific layout with the data and show it on the user as a list of items, and automatically this list is scrollable. We don't need to apply any scrolling or something like that. But if we look at our previous design, we have to have that particular scroll view. Inside the scroll view, we put that particular specific linear layout. Inside the linear layout, we have all those card views. Okay, so what we want to do here, we want to create how we, I mean, in this practically we will see that how we can implement the list view and show all those cards. So create a new project, MainActivity.java, and the XML activity_xml layout file is already created. Add the same image resources that we have and add it for the card view, the previous card view application that we have. So add those resources inside it, and then what we can say that how we can layout resource file. Now right click on that particular specific folder and add a layout resource file. So we say my card view. So what we are doing, actually we are adding a layout file. We have a card, inside the card we have an image, and right in front of that image we have that particular specific text view. So instead of defining that particular specific layout inside our main activity layout, we are adding another layout resource file and then adding those things inside it. So we have that particular specific, actually it will add that particular specific file name my card view here under the layout resource directory. Okay, so this is our my card underscore view.xml file. So we have a card view, and then we have that particular specific provided the ID to that particular specific card view, and then we also provided the IDs to image view as well as the text view, and then we have created that particular specific thing here. Now for all the 6 different cards or 6 different data values, we want to change that particular specific image resource as well as the text in that particular text view, and we will add that card view in our list. So for each card view, we have image and title. For details, we have image, title, and descriptions. And this is our data model, image resource and the title and the description. Okay, so we need to create that particular specific data resource first. The first thing is we need to create that data resource, so we can tell our adapter we have 6 records and that we want to show inside our this layout. So it will create 6 layouts of this type, my card view type 6 layouts, and put them different resources, images and the text in each everyone, and put them in the list automatically by that adapter. So that's what we want to achieve here. So we have that data. So list in the Java, we can have that list inside the main activity, or we can also have the string arrays in the strings.xml. So what I did, I have created, we have 3 different things. We have the resources. Again, if these images we have already added inside our drawable folder or drawable resource folder. So we are just creating that particular specific array. 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and so on. We have 6 different image resources. We also have these 6 titles, and make sure that this particular first item is relevant to that particular first image resource. The first description is also relevant to the, so at 0 index, 0 index, 0 index, they are considered as a 1 record. Okay. The other thing that this is like resources, these are the image titles, these are the descriptions. And the one other thing, that whenever we have a single quote here, that single quote should be escape character. We need to put over that slash so that it does not provide a problem over there. If you don't do that, it will, and try to compile your project, it will tell you the same problem, that this particular specific single quote is not acceptable as a value of the item. So if you want to have a single quote in it, then you have to put the escape sequence for that one, escape character. So now what we are trying to do here, we are adding a Java class. So we have our project, we have the Java files here where we have the main activity. We right click on that particular specific package name and then say new, and then select the Java. So when you select the Java, it will ask you to give the name. So we say that list row item. So actually we have the image resource, we also have the image title, and we also have the image description. So we are creating a Java class file which contains all those data parts as the variables or the class variables. And then we also have the constructor of the class. Then we also have the setters and getter methods that will help us to, so for each record, for each what you can say that for each uh, card view, we the card view record, we have this one class. So we are saying that we have integer, and remember that all the resources which are present inside our Java project, they have been assigned a specific unique integer value to them. Okay, whether it is a layout file, whether it is an image, whether it is a string array, whether it's whatever it is. So we have, so our image resources are actually represented inside the Java project as an integer value. So that's why we say int image resource. Okay, string is a title, title is a string, description is also a string, and then we have a constructor of this particular list row item which takes the image resource, 2 string values, and assign those to the interval. And then we also have the set and the get methods for that one. So that is our one particular specific data model, you can say that, of this particular specific application. Now we are trying to build that particular specific adapter which is going to read the list of these list row items and try to use that particular specific layout that we have created and show them in the list format inside our application or the main activity. So what we are doing, again, we have added a class. Again, right click on that particular specific package name, and then say add a class, and then you give the class name as a ListView adapter. Again, that's a class name here, this particular specific thing that you can select my ListView adapter or my ABC ListView adapter, whatever you want, but you need to look at, make sure that you are providing a proper name for that one. And then we say that we are extends that one from the base. When you create it, it will say that public class ListView adapter and then finish. It will not have that particular specific extends base adapter. So don't worry about that. Once you have created, you go into that particular specific Java code file, and after the name of the class, you say write extends and then base adapter. It will automatically add that particular base one. So now uh, uh, here, when you do that, it will show you red underline. So again, you bring your cursor here anywhere in this particular line and press alt enter. When you press alt enter, it will show you this particular specific thing. It means that it is a base adapter that you are extending, that you want to this list view adapter be the child of the base adapter. So if you want to make that particular child work properly, you need to implement a few methods, or you can make this class also abstract, but definitely we won't want to make that particular class an abstract class. Rather, we want to implement those methods. So what are those methods? So when we say implement, and you select that particular implement and press enter, it will show you, but we have these a few 4 methods that we need to implement. So when we select all those methods and click OK, it will going to implement or create those methods here. So first thing is, in this particular specific class, we need to create a list of the list row item data. That's a Java list, simple Java list, that, or even you can say the C# list. So we have a context as a variable, global variable inside the class. And then we also have a data, which is of the type list of the list row items, again global. And then we also have changed that particular specific get count method. Instead of returning the 0, we are saying return data dot size. Whatever that size of this data is, it is going to tell us that how many items, how many values we want to show in that list. Of course, in our case, these are the 6 card views or 6 items. Again, in the get item, so we say that data dot get position. Okay, so we say we want to which specific item we want to show in that particular card view. What will be the image source, what will be the title that we want to show. So we are trying to get that particular specific position. And then we also have a constructor for this particular list view adapter, which takes 2 values. One is the context and the second one is the data. So data will be initialized into this one and the context will be initialized into this one. The next thing is we need to implement this particular specific getView. What does it mean? It will create that particular card view, my list card view. Okay, that is the layout that we have added in our project. So it will create that particular specific card view, or the one view of the one item, or the layout of the one item with the image and the text view on it, and then change the image resource according to the data value which is there. Like first it will be show the 0 index values, then it will show this 1 index value, then it will show. So it will create 6 of those particular specific card view in this method specifically. Okay, so we need to implement that one. So we have created the global variable, and based on those global variables we have created the constructor. Then we change the get count and the get item methods. This can remain same, return 0. And then we are need to implement that particular specific method here. So this is what it will look like. So we have those methods, this constructor, these are the data models, these are the data parts or the variables, global variables inside the class. We have the constructor, get, count, get, and we also have this method. Here we are creating another class, view elements. And remember that how many view elements we have? We have a few view elements. We have image view, we have a text view or title text. Okay, so we can also have that card view as well if you want. Now we need to implement that particular specific method, and how it will be implemented, it is like that. So uh, this is, I mean, after adding that particular specific items here, image view and the text view, and then we need to implement this one. So this is what we have, that particular specific get view position, which specific, it's a zero index value, it is zero index data or the one index data or the two index data, that is a position number. And then convert view. Okay, and then we also have that particular specific view group the parent. So we say that if the view elements is view elements is equal to null, this is actually the representing that particular object or the variable of this particular specific class, which is the what internal class of that particular specific view list view adapter. And then we are saying that if this particular convert view is null, it means that particular layout does not exist. If it is does not exist, we need to create that particular specific layout first. So what we are doing, we layout inflator, row item inflator, which is going to, I mean, this is the name of the variable. You can say my inflator or inflator, whatever you want. So that is the variable. So layout inflator, name of the variable is equal to layout inflator. And then we say context. That is why we have that particular global variable when we are creating that particular adapter. So context dot get system service. We are getting the services from the Android system, and then say that activity dot layout inflator service. So we are convert getting that particular service and convert that service into the layout inflator and assign it to this particular variable. And then using that particular inflator, we say dot inflate, and this is, look what we're saying, we say r dot layout dot my card view, that card view layout that we have created. Where is that one? I just quickly go back to show you this one. Yeah, this particular specific layout we want to create, what it will do, it will create an object of the card view, it will create the object of the image view, it will also create the object of the text view. So it will create all those objects of that particular specific layout. Yeah, so that is done. Now we are saying that elements is equal to new view elements. We are, instead of say that that particular element is equal to null, we say new view elements. And now in that particular view element, actually we have image view and the text view. So what we are going to do, we have created that my card view layout. Inside that particular card view layout, we have the image view as well as the text view. Now we are trying to bridge the connection between this variable inside the element and the actual card image view or the text view which exist inside our card view or the layout. So we are say that convert view dot find view by its ID. Remember that we have assigned the ID to those card views and the image text views, or image view and text view. So we say my card image and my card title. So we assign. So now these variables, these elements dot image and elements dot title text, these variables are representing actual image view and the text view inside our card layout. Now we have connected these variables with them. So once we have connected with them, so we are saying that we are trying to get the position, get the data out of our data. So we say list row item, that is the item that we want to display in the image and the text view, and we are getting the data at that specific position from our data variable data.get position. Okay, so now this particular item position will contain the resource image resource file. It will also contain the title of the text, title of the image, and it will also contain the description. But right now we only need the image resource integer value and the title text. So what we are saying that image dot set image resource, and from that particular item position we are getting the image resource, and then similarly on the title we are showing the title from that particular item position, and then return convert view. So that is the implementation of that particular specific get view. Fine. Now, I mean, we have developed all the components, and now we are trying to bridge or combine all those components into one place. What was the first components? It was the card view layout, my card view layout, in which we have a card view, and inside the card view we have the image and the text view. Then we have the data inside our what you can say inside our strings.xml. We created those string arrays and arrays, so that is the data part. So first we create the layout in which we want to display the data. Then in the strings layout, in the strings.xml file we created the data, and then we created the adapter. So now we have all different pieces that we want to show in that particular specific list are already created. And now we come into our main activity in the XML file, and instead of having that particular specific what you can say constraint layout, we replace it with the list view. And the other thing that we have done here, that we assign a specific ID to this particular list view, so that we can create a list view variable inside our main activity.java and connect that particular variable with this list view when we are creating it. And then using that particular variable, we are going to tell that this is the adapter, this is the layout, and these are the data that you need to show in that particular specific list view. Okay, so that is simple. Instead of having that constraint layout, we are replacing it with the list view and assigning an ID to that particular specific list view. Second thing, we need to create that particular data list. Okay, remember that we have put all the things inside our strings.layout. We need to make sure that it becomes a list of list row item. So we need to get all those data which we have created inside our strings.xml and convert it into a Java variable or Java list. That is what we are doing here. So we say create data method, which is going to return list row item to us. So here we say that list row item data is equal to new array list. That will create an empty list because in the beginning there is nothing. Now we are say get resources. And so we have a typed array image resources, because these are not the, we can say that because these are the list of the integers, but we don't say that it is a list of integer. It is actually a specific resource, image resource, that we want to have here. So we say typed array, that is an image resources. Of course they are the integer values, but it is a typed array which has a specific meaning inside the Android project. So we say get resources. Get resources mean it will get me that R value, R, and then you say that we want to obtain the typed array. And then each and every resource that we have created here, it has been assigned a specific integer value in the R.array. So remember, if we just go back to my image resources, where are those? These are, yeah, here they are. So I have assigned the name image resources. So that will become the ID which is representing this particular specific resource inside our strings.xml. So r.array.image resources. That is exactly what we are trying to get from our resources inside our Java code. Okay, so we say that r.array.image resource. So that is representing that particular image resource array, and we are getting it and assigning it to the image resource. Similarly, we have a string array, image titles, get resources, get string array, because that title is a string array, and then we say r.array.image titles. That is the name that we have given to that particular string array. And similarly, we get the description. So we have those things inside our these are like arrays of all the image resources, titles, and the descriptions. Now we have to create a loop from 0 up to the length last element in that particular in these arrays, and then say row item is equal to new, and then we are providing the image resource. So from the image resource, that's a typed array, we say that image resources dot get resource id. We are getting the resource id because that is, we have to say that that's an image resource, so that should be an id. So we are providing the position from where we want to get 0, of course I0 in the beginning, and then if that index does not exist inside that particular array, then it will return the -1. And similarly for the other string, index value 0 1 2 3 4, or descriptions index value 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, 5 up to 5, of course. So then once we have created for that particular specific data, we created that list row item, and we are adding that inside our list row item list. And once we have created that particular data, we are returning that particular specific data to whichever wherever we are calling this particular specific method. So here we are only creating the list of the list row items as a data or the array. The second thing is that on create method, again set content view, we don't need to worry about it. Here we are saying that list view variable list view, and then we say that r.id.mylist. So we are assigning that particular list view or connecting that particular list view variable with the actual list view which we have defined in our main activity layout file. And then here we are saying that list view adopter, this is the class that we have created, the list view adopter class. So we are creating the variable name adopter is equal to new list view adopter, and then we provide first as a context. And the second thing, we are say create data list, this method that we have just created or designed, we define that particular specific method, we are calling that particular specific method here. This method will return me the list of list item, list of the list row items. Okay, so that will give me all that particular data, and that data will be settled or the assigned inside the data part of that adopter. And then at the end we are just saying that list view dot set adopter, that particular adopter will become the adopter for that particular specific list view. So what it will do, it has the data, it has the layout file for each data items, which in this we have 6 data items. So in this, for each data item, it will create one card view layout, add the image resource, add the title of that one, and show it in that particular specific list view. So definitely it will create 6 of those layouts, and then show them in the list view. So that is what is happening here. So this is what we have here. If I just try to show you that how it is going to work. So I mean, we have just written down and execute that particular program. Look, we have all those 6 images over there. If of course if we click on something, it is not going to work because right now we have not implemented the click event. So how we can implement the click event? Simple. So we have a list view dot set on click listener. List view, for each list view we are saying set on click listener. So when you set on click listener, new adopter view dot on click listener, so it will actually have that view and position. I mean, we are, I mean, if I go back, we are, if we click on this one, that will position will be 0. If we click on this one, then position will be 1. If we click on this one, the position will be 2. So it will also give us the position on which the user has clicked. And now we are just showing a toast. But of course that we don't want. We want to go into a new activity based on the specific item or the position or the card has been clicked, and we can show the details. Only one activity we need required to show the details of all different 6. because we know the position. When we know the position, we can simply go into that one, look into our data and show the details. How we will do that? We will show I will show you in the next lecture. So in the next lecture, we will be talking more about the user interaction and as well as the recycler view. And here are some references. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Bye.